What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the second edition of the Masters Preview. I am your host for this episode here. I am Jason Roslin, or at DFS Golfer 23 on Twitter. Also, you can find most of my work over here on awesemo.com. And we'll, of course, be providing a ton of information in the upcoming week. Of course, as I said yesterday, we'll be doing a full preview of all of the players in the field here in the exact same format we did yesterday. Plus, we'll be breaking down, of course, the best DraftKings plays and daily fantasy sports plays all week on awesemo.com. So be sure to check that out. And of course, we're running a special this week. If you put in coupon code MASTERS, you'll get the week for $5. So half off of our regular deal. Pretty good deal for all that you get. So without further ado, let's head on and learn about a couple of more players that are going to be playing in this year's Masters tournament. And of course, if you want to watch yesterday's episode, all you got to do is click right over there. Right at the top left of the screen. So you should be able to go to that. If not, you'll be able to find it right on our awesemo.com YouTube page. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll be able to see all the videos that we post. So, first guy we're going to learn about here is Dustin Johnson. Obviously, Dustin Johnson is one of the best players in the world. He is ranked number one in the world as of right now. He qualified, first of all, he's 34 from the USA. He qualified by winning the U.S. Open in 2016. Again, he's got a ton of qualifications. This just happens to be the number 2 qualification on the Masters invitation list. He was bounced out of the match play as Branden Grace caught fire in his group, so he came in 64th. But prior to that, came in 6th at the Valspar and 5th at the Players, so pretty good form. For the Masters form, for Dustin Johnson, it's 10th, and then it's actually 4th in 2016 and 6th in 2015. Remember, he missed the Masters, but because of the copy, how it comes over, it just lists the last 3 years played, and should have been 3 years played for Dustin Johnson, but he slipped down the stairs, if you don't remember, a couple of years back there and ended up missing the tournament. So statistically this year, ranked 4th strokes gained tee to green, 10th in greens and regulation. Driving distance has come down a little bit, but that's a little bit skewed because he played in Tampa at the Valspar Championship there a couple of weeks ago, and you just don't hit many drivers at all there. He is, as I mentioned, ranked 1st in the world. So Dustin Johnson kicks off our coverage today. He'll have a great chance to pick up his first ever green jacket in great form. Next player we're going to preview is Louis Oosthuizen. Louis Oosthuizen is 36 years old from South Africa. He's famed or known probably a little bit more for his double eagle on the second hole back in 2012 here, which helped propel him to a runner-up finish that year. He qualified this year by ranking inside the top 50 of the previous calendar year. Recent form made it all the way to the Elite 8 in the match play, 2nd at Valspar, and 56th the week before. So pretty good form for Louis Oosthuizen, who boasted a 12th place finish here last year, 41st in 2017 and 15th in 2016. So Louis actually would have also qualified by the top 10 in the Masters, which we'll see from Charley Hoffman. So that one might be a few bullet points above the top 50 in the world for Louis Oosthuizen. Also had the big PGA Championship finish as well. So he's got a couple of qualifications. That's just one that I threw out. Statistically, 47th strokes gained tee to green, as his around the green game has been very good. Hitting the greens, though, ranked 201st. And again, that might be a little skewed because of the tournaments he's playing, but still. Driving distance has improved this year, ranked 49th. And he's ranked 20th in the world coming into the Masters. So Louis Oosthuizen, certainly somebody you want to pay attention to next week. A guy that has shown that he can play at Augusta and make cuts, and seems to be in pretty good form. So as a little bit of a joke going around about Oosthuizen, as long as he's got his bed with him, his own bed, then yeah, he's going to be in contention. But if he doesn't, he could have a hurt back, which ended up making him withdraw from the PGA Championship last year. The year before was his really good finish there. I believe it was a runner-up. So Louis Oosthuizen, as long as he has a good back, he's definitely in play next week. We're going to move on to Branden Grace, who we actually just mentioned a couple of guys ago, and Dustin Johnson as he got out of the match play group there. He's also from South Africa. He's 30 years old. He did qualify by the number being in the top 50 in the world at the previous calendar year. He had that got out of the group play in match play, so he came in 16th and ended up losing in the round of 16. Missed the cut the week before and 72nd the week before that. So not great form for Branden Grace, who has made 2 cuts here at Augusta. So and 3 of 4 as he placed 18th in his debut back in 2013. So pretty good record here for Branden Grace, at least for being able to play all 4 rounds. 81st ranked in strokes gained tee to green this year, 164th in greens regulation. And the driving distance is improving for him as well this year. And he's also ranked 43rd in the world. So now we'll head into a guy, Thorbjorn Olesen, who really, he doesn't get a lot of statistics here on the PGA Tour. So we're really not even going to focus on these numbers for him. But he's a 29-year-old from Denmark. He got in because he finished in the top, I believe this one is, again, for Thorbjorn Olesen, I believe he was in the top 50 in the world golf ranking, as it looks like this copy over was wrong on him. However, his recent form is correct. 64th, he did not get out of the group stage of match play. 41st before that, and a missed cut before that, so not great form. 14th back in 2014 in his last trip to Augusta. He also made a couple of cuts before that, so Thorbjorn Olesen, maybe a little bit under the radar, 29-year-old from Denmark. Guy is Justin Rose, and we give Justin Rose the little bit of a different background here. So we had a nice picture of him. He qualified, obviously. There's a bunch of different ways that he could have done that, but he was in the top 12 in the Masters last year. He came in 12. Again, a bunch of other different ways. He's Justin Rose. He's ranked 2nd in the world, so plenty good going on there. In the Masters form is probably one of the best in the field. He hasn't missed a cut since 2009 at least, and probably before that as well. Add in the fact that he hasn't finished outside the top 25 since then. So that's pretty incredible. 12th last year, runner-up to Sergio in 2017, a 10th in 2016 for Justin Rose. Sorry, next guy's going to be Xander Schauffele. I clicked my mouse a little too quickly there. So when we look at statistically, Justin Rose actually switched golf clubs at the beginning of this year. And is certainly figuring those out, still ranked in the top 30 in strokes gained tee to green. His greens and regulation has suffered a bit, but his driving distance ranked 30th, so pretty good there. His recent form, he was able to get out of match play, lost in the round of 16, 8th before that at the Players, and 63rd the week before. So it's a little bit up and down. He does have a win on the season as well. So Justin Rose, we know he'll be there late into Sunday at Augusta. Kind of preface it, and this is Xander Schauffele is 25 years old from the United States. He placed in the top 5 in the British Open last year to get into here, plus a bunch of other things. He's ranked 10th in the world. Driving distance, he's really improved this year, ranking 3rd. Greens and regulation, he's 9th. In strokes gained tee to green, he's 13th. Again, that might be a little bit due to the courses that he's playing, the tournaments he's playing, and what's measured. He came in 40th last year in his first trip here. Recent form, he did not get out of the group stage in match play. Missed the cut the week before that, and 14th before that. So not bad form for the 25-year-old from the United States, but something for a guy who's ranked 10th in the world. We would certainly like to see a little bit more better form. Speaking of better form, Charley Hoffman ended up, this was recorded on Friday, and he got through the cut there at the Valero Texas Open where he's playing this week. But this 42-year-old got here, the only way he got here was the number 11 Invitational. He was top 12 in last year's Masters, as you can see there. He ranked 22nd in 2017, 29th in 2016. He's never missed a cut. He's finished as high as 9th in 2014. So Charley Hoffman flies under the radar, but just finds a way to get it done at Augusta. As you can see statistically, he's really bad this year. Nothing really going for him. 121st tee to green. Greens and regulation ranked 132nd. Driving distance 121st. So really not a lot going on for him, because he ranks outside of the top 50 in the world golf rankings. So we'll move past. We'll go talk about Fred Couples here. As we'll save Andrew Landry for another day. We're going to talk about smooth swinging Freddie Couples. Is the 59-year-old from the United States is, of course, the lifetime invitation winner from the 1992 Masters. Recent form on the Champions Tour, not bad. 17th, 10th, and 20th. Not as good as one of the other Champions Tour guys we talked about yesterday, Bernhard Langer. Freddie Couples has had some pretty good form. 38th last year, 18th the year before, so on a good made cut stretch. He missed a cut in 2016. Obviously, Freddie spends all of his time on the Champions Tour, so we're not going to have any statistics on him. But again, Freddie Couples is a guy that if his back is in good form and he doesn't have to wear a brace like he had to put on last year for a couple of rounds, he's not a bad guy to look at a top 20 bet. And of course, we'll have some full coverage, and I'll mention this at the end, a little change to our written structure of this that we'll bring up at the end. So Freddie Couples, 59-year-old, he is in the field again and thinks he's got a chance to at least get to the weekend. As Freddie says, that is his goal at this point. If anything above that is all gravy, but of course he doesn't expect to win the golf tournament at 59 years old, but still, getting to the weekend is always fun for him. Next, we'll talk about Brandt Snedeker, who is here because of the win last year from PGA tournament. So that's number 50 in the qualifications. He is 38 years old. He did not get out of group play. He was in Tiger's group at the match play, 30th before that, and a 5th place before that. So pretty good for Brandt Snedeker coming into here. Even at the match play, he ended up beating Tiger Woods, tying Cantlay, and losing to Aaron Wise. So actually wasn't playing that bad. In 2018, 27th here at Augusta, 10th in 2017, and a miscut in 2016. Best finish was back in 2013 where he placed 6th. Strokes gained tee to green this year, 85th. Not hitting that many greens, though, ranked 174th. We know Snedeker doesn't drive very far, ranked 150th, and he is ranked 50th in the world at this point, at least when we took the qualifications. So that's Branden Snedeker, and the last guy for today that we're going to learn about is the defending champion, Patrick Reed, 28 years old, from the United States. Obviously, as long as you're going to be watching the Masters, he'll be playing in it for obviously the foreseeable future. Recent form, though, is very bad. He didn't get out of the group stage. He came in dead last at the Valspar. Before that, only a 47th. So not very good. And the form at Augusta is quite variable as well. First, and then a miscut in 2017, 49th in 2016, and didn't have a top 10 before his win last year. So this year, he ranked 18th in the world, but statistically, he ranked 110th tee to green, 144th in greens in regulation. While driving distance has improved, everything else has kind of faltered. So the defending champion might not be coming in the best of form, might be overlooked, but again, he is a Masters champion, so certainly don't want to overlook him that much. And that will end today's preview for round 2. So I mentioned a little tidbit that we're going to be changing our written structure, and the written structure of this is going to change into all this information, so it's easy for you guys to get it however you would like to. But we're also going to add in on every player a little betting blurb and, of course, a little DFS blurb, a daily fantasy sport. So just to give you just a little bit of a little bit more content and a little bit more material. So the final product of that will be done Wednesday, and we'll be updating those players with those blurbs as quickly as we can. I'm going to be covering the daily fantasy sports section, and Ben Raza is going to be covering the betting section of it. So look forward to that, and we'll improve that as years come. But at least we'll have a full preview and betting guide and DFS guide for you by the time they tee off on Thursday. So until tomorrow, when we'll cover about 15 golfers, have a nice day and a nice evening. Cheers. Thanks, everybody.